Your wedding can be one of the best days of your life, but the lead up to it can be very stressful, especially when you factor in all the traditions that some couples can feel pressured to follow. But our next guests want couples to ditch all those rules in favor of planning a wedding that feels authentic to them. The new wedding book, A Guide to Ditching All the Rules, lays out just how you can do that, and co-authors Michelle Bilodeau and Karen Cleveland are joining us this morning. Good to meet you both.
Good to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Michelle, good morning. There's usually a reason behind why people want to start writing a book. So Michelle, why did you want to write this book?
Yeah, back in 2014, Karen and I had been friends for a long time, and we got married about 6 weeks apart from each other. And in the lead up to the wedding and post-wedding, we would get together as friends do, and we would complain about the things that felt really icky or wrong about the wedding industry. You know, we both identify as feminists, and it just felt like we were being thrown back to the 1960s. And we would get together with friends too, and actually found out that they all kind of felt the same way that we did. So Karen said to me one day at lunch, like, maybe this is a book. And I agreed, and that kind of started the whole process.
Sometimes people feel like they just need something to go to. Like if you've got an aunt or a mother or somebody who's saying you need to do it this way, you can say, there's a book that says I don't have to do it this way anymore. To help couples, we're going to take a look at different areas of wedding planning, and you're going to tell us to ditch the rules and how we can create a better day. So Karen, let's start with the big one, the budget.
That's right. So most wedding planners, when you look at how they approach a budget, will tell you you need to allocate X percentage to your flower, X percentage to your reception. And we really encourage couples to zoom out on that and think of their overall life budget. So not necessarily their wedding budget, but what do you want to do as a couple? What are your financial goals? Do you want to buy a condo? Do you want to start a family? Do you want to travel? And we feel very strongly about being very pragmatic about finances. A wedding is a major milestone, but it is not worth going to debt over, ever.
So do not go into debt, even if it is, one of the biggest days of your life. Look at you both are like, no, don't do it.
Hard no.
Hard no. This next one could set up a bit of a cultural clash, because once you set the budget, most couples will then start talking about the guest list. Michelle, what do you want people to keep in mind when making that list? Because although we talk about it being the couple, there's a lot of extra and external family and cultural pressure involved.
Yeah, 100%. And I think really focusing in on your budget when it comes to the guest list can be very important, because it can show how many people you can actually have at your wedding. There is a lot of pressure to invite, parents, friends, or friends of friends. But as a couple, this is an opportunity for you to sit down and talk about who you really want at your wedding. And those communication skills will obviously bode well going into a marriage, which is the end goal here. But one thing that's really also interesting is the pandemic has shown that you can do really special, unique ceremonies and celebrations with a tighter guest list. And we're not saying to cut out people just to cut out people, but if there's an option to have people attend your wedding in a digital format, I feel like a lot of people actually are a bit more used to that now. So let's use that to our advantage. If people from out of town can't make it, if somebody is ill and needs to call in, there are options now where it doesn't have to be, a 250 person in-person sit down dinner. But really it is about the couple sitting down and making a list of who they want there for them on their wedding day.
Karen, you guys talked about, there's ways that the wedding industry can really drive you crazy. And this next one, talking about the look of the bride, is a big one for me. What do you say to couples who are feeling like there's a pressure to look a certain way? Like, things that have changed since I got married are now wedding shoes are a big deal, and you need to have more than one dress.
We feel the same way, Anne-Marie. It really is this loaded territory, and a societal obsession with how women look certainly isn't new by any stretch. But in researching the book, what we found is that there's this whole new level of pressure for women to look a certain way. And it's really sort of open season to criticize women and their bodies. And I'd say people in general, but women in particular. So there's a huge industry that capitalizes on women being told that they're not good enough for their wedding, that they need to transform their appearance to look like the part of the bride. You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to get Botox. You don't need to lighten your skin or tan your skin. You don't need to change anything. It's horrible that we put this pressure on people. You're in love. That's the best glow up ever. Just enjoy your wedding day and know that you're perfect.
And block out anybody that would try to tell you otherwise. Finally, what is your best advice when it comes to planning out the actual wedding day? I'm talking about the events of the day. Michelle?
It really goes back to communication. And the communication between the partners. So really looking at what the two of you want out of that day and edit accordingly. There are some, Western wedding traditions, and I'm putting traditions in air quotes, that may feel really icky and you don't want them as a part of your day. Don't include them. But there might be some traditions that do really hold meaning for you and your partner. So absolutely include those. It really is just about having that open communication with your partner and creating a day that is really special for the two of you, however that looks. And again, that will just bode well for communication and for your marriage in the long run.
Just in the minute we have left, and this is a question for both of you, and Karen, I'll start with you. What is the tradition, in air quotes, that you ditched that you were happy about?
Receiving line. I understand that some people feel very strongly about receiving lines, but I have yet to meet a person who thinks that that was an hour well spent of their day. I'm sorry for people who love receiving lines, but we think that they're done with.
Okay, and Michelle, what about you?
Oh gosh, the garter belt. There are so many icky things attached to that I really hope that is gone very soon.
All right, well, it was a great conversation with both of you. A lot of fun to both think back to my wedding and take a look at how weddings have changed over the years. The book is called The New Wedding Book, A Guide to Ditching All the Rules. It's available right now. Thanks to you both for being with us.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.